Courtney Barnett, Things Take Time, Take Time. Album review, let's chat about it. Australia-based singer-songwriter Miss Courtney Barnett. She's been at it for a few years now. Honestly, one of my favorite songwriters in indie right now, usually. Very early in her career, I fell in love with her sound around the time of her A Sea of Split Peas double EP debut album. This album was very quirky, it was well written, it absolutely had a ton of personality as well. Courtney's very, I don't know, interesting view on things and fascinating observations, as well as her sense of humor really caught me off guard, and I fell in love with her songwriting style very quickly. Oh yeah, and Avant Gardner is just an awesome track. And for a lot of those reasons, I enjoyed her full-length debut. Sometimes I sit and think, and sometimes I just sit. I mean, Elevator Operator, Pedestrian at Best, Depressed In, No One Really Cares If You Go to the Party. These were some of the best indie singles of the year. Then her follow-up album came about, and I didn't know exactly how to feel about it, and I enjoyed it at the time. Tell me how you really feel. It was an album that I liked at the time, but as the years went on, I found more and more things I didn't like about it. For every great track, like Charity and City Looks Pretty, I thought there were a lot of late album cuts that just underwhelmed me. And leading up to this album, I thought these new singles were fine, but it kind of got me thinking, is fine enough with Courtney's music? Let's chat about this thing. I will say this right off the bat. I don't think Courtney's not capable of putting out great music right now. Look at Ray Street. Ray Street is awesome. I love the slacker vibes here, and so much of the lyrics on this track just remind me of what brought me to Courtney in the first place. It's got a great hook as well as this really great, gritty guitar line. Like, this may not be anything wild or new in the Courtney Barnett canon, but honestly, this is fine. It's by far the best track here, and I don't think it's close either. Here's the Thing, on the other hand, is something new. In the past, I've kind of been very lukewarm on Courtney's dreamier, more jammy tracks. But truthfully, here, she kind of rides the groove really nicely. No, there's some legitimate funk on this track, and I can get into that. It shows her branching out, but branching out in so much more of an interesting way than usual, especially compared to some of the later tracks here. But for now, this is pretty groovy. But I don't know about you guys, but I feel like something is seriously off on this album, especially Courtney's performances and songwriting. We get to Fair Sundown, and like I said earlier, Courtney's always had this sort of slacker vibe to her that I've loved. But this, I don't know, man. This is really boring and even more safe. And that drum machine is just really annoying. It just shows her drifting away from guitar jams, and that just hurts. This track is tough to swallow, alarmingly so. Before You Gotta Go worried me well before this album was released. I thought this was a really just very mediocre single. I don't really get what Courtney was going for. Lyrically, it's a telling of an argument, a retelling of an argument, I should say, and, one that's tastefully wrote. But between the repetition here and just being a little underwhelmingly performed and this instrumental that's not that exciting, I don't know, this is just a really weird track, mostly because it's got some punk vibes, but I feel like at the same time, I don't know, Courtney doesn't want to wake the neighbors. By the time we get to Turning Green, I literally want to throw that drum machine as far as I can throw it. Hearing this and thinking about the days of Pedestrian at Best, it's tough to swallow. This just comes off so half-assed. The only thing that this track does is get on my nerves. Even lyrically, this is faceless for Courtney. That extended jam is trying so hard, but it just does nothing as far as making up for lost time. I don't know, this album, it's not very good at all, is it? There's some later tracks here that are just, take it day by day. It's not the worst sin committed here. As a matter of fact, I still like it as a single. Lyrically, it's really good. It may be the catchiest track here. I mean, even if I'm not that blown away by her vocal performance, this is a very solid tune. I can say a lot of the same things about If I Don't Hear From You Tonight. This track is very good. I mean, it's not exciting, but Courtney saves it with her songwriting. And while I wasn't originally into it, Write a List of Things to Look Forward to has actually won my heart. Just hearing a sort of upbeat and carefree track in this sea of very slow, monotonous, half-asleep indie ballads just is, this is at least, something to pick me up a little. Even Courtney's vocals here, I feel like she's just so much more full of life. I wish we got more of this. But then we get tracks like Splendor, and following some of the best tracks on this album, we get one of the worst tracks on this album. Courtney Barnett has gone from being a lovable slacker to someone who sounds like she's gonna fall asleep. I want to like this album, but there's no life to it. Then we have Oh the Night as a finale here, and it's tough because truthfully, it's a sweet ballad, but just it's not saving anything at this point. I'm so fed up. I'm so fried at this point. I'm just so done with everything. I don't want this. I just kind of want to go back and listen to some early Courtney Barnett and enjoy, what I enjoyed about her in the first place. I mean, the guitar-driven jams that Courtney was once pumping out left and right, making it seem like it was her job, seemed to be a thing of the past, and these half-asleep ballads that are well written but not really well performed are sort of what's going on right now in her career, and you might like it, but I sure as hell don't. I'm feeling a light 5 on this album, but let me know what you guys think down below. If you like the video, be sure to give us a like, give us a subscribe, and let me know down below what you would like for me to chat about in the future. And until next time, have a great day, guys.